So I'm a big Harley guy, and every year in South Dakota, there's a big rally, the biggest rally in the world probably. All the Harley guys, every motorcycle guy, you ride up to South Dakota to a place called Sturgis. Lots of people probably heard of it. And I ride up there, some beautiful riding while you're there up in the Black Hills of South Dakota. And then my wife flies in after I ride there. It's about 1,500 miles to get there, 1,600 miles. Takes a couple days. And then once I'm there, my wife flies in, does the riding around in Sturgis, see all the events, all the cool landmarks, Mount Rushmore, some amazing highways. Stay there for a few days, and then she hops on the bike with me, and we leave Sturgis, and we ride part of the way home, like through Yellowstone, some Wyoming, and then I drop her off after a day or two in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then she flies home. Then me and my dad and some buddies, we continue the ride to get back to Arizona. So it's about a 3,600 mile round trip ride. So we did that, dropped the wives off in Jackson Hole, they flew home, and then we continued on to Utah to sleep our first night. Slept, got up the next morning, and then now this morning, or this day is the day we're going to arrive at home. We get all the way through Utah into Arizona, and we cut across from Flagstaff over by the Grand Canyon, and then through like Mormon Lake area, which is between Flagstaff and Payson. And before you hit Payson, you hit a little town called Pine, like Pine and Strawberry, and it had been raining a lot. So we stopped at a gas station in Pine, stripped off all our clothing, our rain gear, all our protection stuff, because it was about to get real hot coming into, after Payson, you're just on the beeline into the valley and it gets real hot. So took off all our rain gear. My gloves were soaking wet. I took off my gloves, took off my jacket, and so I was in a short sleeve shirt. I thought maybe I'll just put on my leather vest. So I had my leather vest over my t-shirt, no gloves. I had just my Lululemon pants on, some boots, and a helmet. And we leave there, and about, less than 5 minutes down the road, on the road to Payson, I look down to make sure I'm not speeding too fast. Look down, I'm going like 55, 60. Look up, and there is an elk in the middle of the road, a cow elk, dead center in front of me, maybe 25 feet in front of me, just dead center, standing in the road sideways with her head turned, looking at me. So I slam on the brakes, hoping she'll move a little bit so I can miss her. She's not moving, so I'm sliding, brakes locked up, and I lean hard to the left, sliding. She doesn't move. I nail the elk, probably going 50 miles an hour at this point. Elk flies over, down onto the ground. I am sliding as I hit it, so then it knocks the bike over. I hit the ground, and then my left foot gets caught underneath the bike. So the bike is sliding down the road, and my foot's caught under the bike, and so I'm sliding, like I'm facing backwards on my stomach and arms, sliding while the Harley is caught on my foot, dragging me down the highway. It hurts so bad. And then the Harley, as it's sliding, catches something or hits, and the bike flips up and over out of the way. So then I'm sliding still, kind of turn around sliding, and then I get up. And I just start like walking off the highway, and I'm just thinking as I'm walking, like, hey, I'm not paralyzed. I'm walking right now. This is real. I'm moving my legs. I'm moving my head. I'm okay. I look down. I'm bloody everywhere. Just the nastiest with my knees. My pants are ripped to shreds. My shirt's ripped to shreds. My vest is totally scuffed and marred up, but saved a lot of my core. But I had no gloves on and I had a short sleeve shirt on. So I have 3rd-degree burns and road rash all up my arms, my hands, the insides of my palms and fingertips. I have this nice little finger that's totally unscathed, came out just perfect. But everything else is completely shredded, 3rd degree. So the ambulance comes, fire truck comes, they check me out, ask me a bunch of weird questions to make sure I'm not just like unconscious or something. Then the bike's obviously garbage. They come pick the bike up. The bike I was on, I was actually being paid to ride there and get some social media footage and stuff with a photographer buddy of mine. So the bike wasn't mine, which was awesome. The bike's garbage. It's in pieces. They towed it away on a tow truck. And then, yeah, my wife came up freaking out, obviously. She was at skateboarding class with my son. Had somebody come and get my kids. She jumped in the car and came up to get me. I declined the ambulance ride and everything because I felt like I wasn't like bleeding out, dying. And I didn't want to go to a hospital or burn center out of town. I wanted to be at one closer to home. So got in the car. It was a miserable ride. At this point, I had no pain medication or anything. I was just feeling every ounce of it. Rode home kind of just like this on a blanket that my dad had in the car. I was sitting on this bloody blanket. Get to the hospital. They kind of cleaned me up. This is the most painful thing ever. Just wiping my wounds down, getting all the debris and stuff out of my cuts. And then they gave me some pain medication. Slept at home that night, and then the next morning I went to the Arizona Burn Center, which was the referral to like the specialty care. And I go there every couple days for kind of status update, see what's going on. I have another appointment today, which I should learn if I'm gonna need skin grafting on this arm. So there's no skin left on a portion of this arm. It's just like the layer of fat before the bone. And if skin doesn't start to like regenerate there, I'm gonna need skin from somewhere, my butt or something, to slap on there to grow some skin. But crossing my finger, hoping that it kind of regenerates itself and I don't have to have crazy surgeries. But it was a wild ride. It was crazy, very painful. Don't recommend it. And it's been a huge testament of like just wearing the gear, wearing the right stuff. Everywhere I had protective clothing on, I am unmarked. My foot would have been gone if I had the Vans on that I had in my bag. So I had nice big leather boots on. I had a leather vest on and my helmet. And if it weren't for those things, I would have been in super bad shape. But if I had a leather jacket on and like leather pants or chaps on and gloves, I would have walked away without a mark. But I think the elk won on this one.